Hello, welcome back. We have to start the collection today. So within the collection, these are the following points that we have to study. Creating a collection by using generics, implementing an array list, we have to see implementing a tree set. We should also know implementing a hash map, implementing a DQ, and finally the ordering collection. So come to the basics like introduction first. A collection is simply an object that groups multiple elements into a single unit. A collections are used to store, retrieve, manipulate and communicate aggregate data. Java.util package contains all the collection classes and interfaces. A collection framework is a unified architecture for representing and manipulating collections. It is a collection of classes and interfaces. At the top of collection framework hierarchy, there is an interface called as a collection. What are the advantages of the collection? It reduces the programming effect. It increases the programming speed and quality, allows interoperability among unrelated APIs. Now, so before jumping to the collection interface, you should understand like what the collection is. You have already know what is an array list. Array list is an extension to the arrays that is meant to store any type of the data. It can store a string, it can store numbers, it could be a integer, it could be double. So that is the idea. So the collections are the already defined framework. So multiple interfaces in the classes exist. Suppose we have something called as a linked list. Within the list interface, we have something called as a linked list. So the entire linked list has been developed. You just have to create the object of the linked list and you can utilize it further. Simply in the DQ, in the hash map, everything is defined. You just have to utilize using the object. It could be more clear whenever we start seeing in the depth. So we will go according to the flow. So come to the collection interfaces. The Java collection framework support two types of container. One is a collection, one next is a map. The collections are generally for storing a collection of elements, where the map is like for storing the key value pair. So within the collection we have set, list, queue and DQ. Within the set we have sorted set. Map we have, within the map we have sorted map. It could be more clear with a diagram that will give an idea about what are the interfaces, what are the classes. You see in the further video. See here, the pink color is the class, the light orange is interface, dotted arrows are implements and the dark arrows are extents. So the top we have a table, then we have a collection, both are the interfaces, and then we have three interface, list, queue and set. The list has three classes basically, array list, linked list and vector, and the stack is again a class that extends the vector. All this array list, linked list and vector implement the list interface. We have priority queue as a class that implements the queue. We have a DQ as an interface that extends the queue, and also array DQ implements the DQ. Similarly for the sets. Is it fine? So these are the entire hierarchy, how it is being arranged in the util package. What are the list, classes and the interfaces. Now come to the collection interface. Sets store a group of non-duplicate elements. Lists store an ordered collection of elements. Within the set, what we have to study is tree set. Within the list, we have to study the array list. Queues store the object that are processed in first out fashion. So within the queue, we will study the array DQ. Maps are efficient data structure. For quickly searching an element using key, we will study the hash map. So for set, we will see the tree set. List, we will see the array list. For the queue, we will see the array DQ. And for map, we will see the hash map. So the sets are used to store the non-duplicate elements. Lists store an ordered collection of elements. The queues store objects that are processed in first of fashion, and the maps are the efficient data structure for quickly searching an element using key. It has a key value pair. Come to the collection interface. These are the standard methods of the collection interface. We have add. It appends the specified element, that is the object, to the end of the collection. Add all appends all the element in the specified collection to the end of the collection. Both has a return type as a boolean. If added successfully, it will return true, otherwise false. Boolean contains object O, that is the object. Return true if this list contains the specified element. Contains all, return true if this collection contains all the elements in the C. You have to pass the collection here, make sure. Remove the object from the collection. Remove all. If you pass the collection, remove all the elements in C from this collection. These are the standard methods of the collection interface. Come to the method again. Retain all. Retains the element that are both in C and in the collection. Means what are the common element that is present in both collection could be captured here. Then clear removes all the elements from the collection. Is empty returns true if this collection contains no element. Size returns the number of elements in the collection. ToArray returns an array of the object for the element in the collection. It returns the array of the object. Hashcode returns the hashcode of the collection. Iterator returns the iterator object for invoking the collection. We have to see what the iterator is in the coming video. Come to the iterator. Iterator is generally used to iterate the collection. So we have multiple methods. We can go forward. Just use to iterate. There is an iterable interface at the top of the collection hierarchy. The collection interface extends the java.lang.iterable interface. It defines a method which returns an iterator object for the element of the collection. Means it defines a method which returns an iterator object for the element of the collection. Iterator. Iterator object is used to traverse the elements in the collection basically. Means for the traversal iteration we use this iterator. What are the methods of the iterator interface? It has next. Return true if the iterator has more element to traverse. Next, return the next element from the iterator. It returns the object here. Has next return true or false depending you have next element or have more element in that particular collection to traverse. Void remove the last element obtained using the next method. Come to the list iterator. List iterator is derived from the iterator interface and comes with more methods than iterator. List iterator can be used to traverse for the list type object. I am repeating again, the list iterator will always be used on the list type object. For example, array list. Iterator can work on any of the collection, but the list iterator will always work on the list type object, that is like an array list. Iterator always allow, previous iterator always allows in the forward direction. The list iterator allows to traverse in both the directions, like forward and the backward, both. A list iterator has no current element. It does not point to an element basically. Its cursor point always lies between the element that has been returned by a call to the previous element and the element that is to be returned by the next. It is lying in the between of the two objects. Objects means like whatever it returns, whatever the object or the element that will be returned by the previous call, previous will return the previous element or the object where the pointer is standing, and if you call the next, it will return the next object. It lies in between the previous and the next. The remove and the set object methods are not defined in the terms of the cursor position. Here the remove and the set object method does not define on the help of the cursor position. They are defined to operate on the last element returned by the call to the next in the previous method. Again, there is nothing like it is pointing to an element, so the remove and the set object method does not work on the cursor position. It works like on the operate on the last element that has returned by the next or the previous method call. Now these are some of the methods in the list iterator method. Has previous return true or false, whether you have previous element or not. Previous returns the previous element. Next index of return the next index where the pointer will work. Like suppose the next returns the 0th index element, the next index of will return 1. I'm repeating again. Suppose we have a next method returns the object. Suppose the next method returns the object from 0 index. The next index will return index 1. So that is the next index to the object of the next. It returns the index of the next element that has from the next object. In previous index return the previous index in the same fashion. We have void set and we have void add. It is used to set and add an object. Now again in the iterator or list iterator, we have not seen any example because it is meant to work on the collection. So whenever we will start with a collection, we will see an example how the iterator and the list iterator method work to iterate a collection. Come to the list interface. The list interface extends the collection interface. It defines a collection for storing the element in a sequential order. It is defined as an ordered collection with duplicates allowed. We have array list, vector and linked list are the subclasses of the interface. For example, we'll go with the array list. Now these are the methods of the list interface: add, add all, remove, get, set, index of, last index of, list iterator object you can create, list iterator you can pass a start index, even you can take a sub list from a starting index to the end index. So add and add all is generally used to add a particular object or add all for a collection. Remove method will remove an object at a given index, and the get will return an object at the given index. You can set, you will pass an index and an object that will use as a replacement. Index of returns the index of the object. The last index of return the last occurrence of that object. List iterator object return the, you can with the help of the list iterator object you can actually iterate this collection list interface, and even with the list iterator object you can pass the starting index from where you want to iterate. Sublist will give us what is as a portion of the list from a given starting index and end index minus 1. Come to the subclasses of list: array list, linked list, vector and stack. For our purpose we will study the array list. Now so this is the hierarchy. This is the hierarchy basically. The top we have iterable, then collection, then the list. These are all the interfaces. Abstract list implement this list interface, and array list extend this abstract list. Array list extend the abstract list and implement the list interface. Java defined in java.tutil package, array list support dynamic array that can grow as per needed. Array lists are created with the initial size. When this size is exceeded, the collection is automatically enlarged. When objects are removed, the array may be shrunk. So hopefully this hierarchy is clear. Top we have iterable, then we have collection, then we have list. These all are all interfaces, they are extending to each other, like collection extend iterable where the list extends the collection. Then we have abstract list that implement the list, and we have array list that extends the abstract list and implement the list interface. There are three constructors. One is the default, second is you can pass a capacity, and you can even pass a collection. It creates an empty array list with the initial capacity to sufficient to hold 10 elements. Second is an array list with a capacity. You can pass an initial capacity, suppose 20, 30, whatever you want. And then even you can pass a collection itself directly. Suppose you have an array list already created, you can pass an array list. So initialize the new array list with the given collection. So these are the methods that are present in the array list that we have to see. Add, append the specified element to the end of this list. Again we have an add method that can insert at a given index. You can pass index and object element that could be added at a given index. Suppose if you choose an index that is not the part of the list, you will get index out of bounds exception. Come to the add all. Appends all the element in the specified collection to the end of the list and throw null pointer exception if the specified collection is null. Add all, insert all the element of the specified collection to the list starting at a specified index. If you're passing an index here, you can insert at a given index from there. It will throw null pointer exception if the specified collection is null. You can remove the object at a given index, remove the element at the specified position in the list. And the second remove, if you pass an object, it will remove the element from the list, that particular element. The last, you can remove an element at an index. And the second option is you can directly remove an object by specifying the particular object you want to remove. Clone returns a shallow copy of the array list. Size returns the number of elements in the list. Clear removes all the elements from the list. Contains return true if this list contains the specified element, means it is like to verifying this particular list does have this element or not. Returns get method returns the element at the specified position in the list, like what is the position of that particular, returns the element at the position. Suppose you pass the fourth, whatever the element present at the fourth index, it will be returned by the get method. Index of returns the index in the list of the first occurrence of the specified element. Means suppose that particular object has multiple occurrence, index of will return the first occurrence. Also it will return -1 if the list does not contain that element. Last index of return the index in the list of the last occurrence of the specified element. For example, the object 4 has multiple occurrences. Last index of will return the last index, or it will return -1 if the list does not have that element. Come to the ensure capacity. Increase the capacity of the array list instance if necessary to ensure that it can hold the at least number of elements specified the minimum capacity argument. It has a formula that we have already seen in the previous lecture. Object set replace the element at the specified position in the list with the specified element and throws index out of bound exception if the specified index is out of range. Means you can replace an existing object with a object that we were passing as a parameter here. Trim to size, trim the capacity of the array list instance to be the list current size. Whatever the capacity we have, capacity is like the possible number of elements that could be stored. The size is the actual number of elements. So whenever you call the trim to size, it will print the current size you have. We will see an example how to implement an array list, and then we will start the set interface. So we will go to the example first. Now it will clear all of the basic things here. Okay, so I have a class this array list. Now I am creating an reference of the list interface. Here the reference is the setter list, and I am making it as generic to the string only, and I am passing the object of the array list and again making it generic to the string. So I have an array list object basically, and it is a generic to the string, means it will only store the string type of the object. So I will add some of the, so whenever as soon as we add London, city list will now have this London in the array list. Whenever I will add Denver, it will have Denver. As soon we add Paris, Miami, Seoul, Tokyo. After adding all this particular object, I have this thing in the array list now. Is it fine? Then I will call the size. With the help of the size, it will return what? How many number of objects present? It contains Miami. If Miami is present, it will return true, otherwise false. Index of Denver. Index of Denver will be obviously 1 because the Denver is present at the index number 1. City list is empty. It will return false because we have some element in the object in the array city list. Now city list dot add. At the second index you have to add Xi'an. Now add the second index. So currently we have like what? second index we want to add. So currently the Paris is at the second index, so everything would be stretch +1 from the Paris. The indexes will get as a +1. So the Paris will move to the third, Miami will go to the fourth, the Seoul will go to the fifth, and the Tokyo will go to the sixth. And the Xi'an will get the space at the second index. Come to the remove Miami. As soon as you pass an object, the Miami would be searched and will be removed. Once the Miami will be removed, this could be the array list present. If you pass 1, the element at the index 1 will be removed. Okay, what we have at the index 1, whenever it will be removed. Come to the city list dot string, it display the contents of the list. Now come to the iterator that we are talking about. See, again my array list is a generic to the string, so I am creating an iterator that is generic to the string itself, and I am creating an iterator object itr, and I am passing the iterator here, our iterator object. I will call this iterator method citylist.iterator that will pass that particular to the itr. I'm repeating again, I am creating an iterator object that is generic to the string itr, and with the help of the iterator method citylist.iterator, I'm just giving the iterator object in the itr. With the help of the itr.hasNext, it will return true or false depending we have next element or not, and itr.next will print the next element present. Now whatever the next element that is present here, list iterator, again we'll try with the list iterator now. One thing you should note it down, the list iterator only works for the list interface. So we are using an array list, so the list iterator will work. List iterator, it is again a generic to the string. With the help of the list iterator method, I am passing the object to the iter. Okay, iter is the object to the list iterator. Traversing the list in the forward direction, we will call this hasNext method. Now, as soon as I call the hasNext, it will return true, and it will print the first element that is present in my list. What is the first element that is present in the list? London. And so the London is at the 0th index. What is the next index? 1. Second, it will print Xi'an. Now, whenever it prints the Xi'an is at the 1 index. What is the next index? 2. So it will just go in this way. Whenever it prints the Tokyo is at which index? 4th index. The next index will say, with the next index is 5. Come to the previous. Whenever I will call the hash previous, it will return true whenever we have the previous element in the list. So itr.previous will start from the last index, and then also you are printing the previous index. What is the previous index present? Suppose the last index that is in the list is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th Tokyo. So it will print the Tokyo, and what is the before index? 3, then 2, then 1, then 0, then -1, because we have 5 elements. We'll see with an example like output, what the output of this code. Now, what is the list size? If you see here, that is the first input 6. Is the Miami in the list true? The location of the Denver is the 1. Is the list empty false? Whenever I delete something, like you will see here, I remove this element 1. I deleted 2 times Miami and Xi'an I have deleted. So, wait, we have deleted what? Denver, sorry. We have removed Miami and Denver. Miami is directly object has been deleted, removed, and then remove at the index number 1, that is the neighbors. What is present? London, Xi'an, Paris, and Seoul and Tokyo. Okay. Now with the iterator, just see with the help of the iterator object, just printing the entire list. It is, you can see here, it is just printing London, Xi'an, Paris, Seoul, and Tokyo. Now come to the list iterator. First, I will traverse in the forward direction and then in the backward direction. London is the 0th index. What is the next index? 1. Xi'an is at the 1 index. What is the next index? 2. So it is working this way. See, next and the next index. What is the next index possible? Eventually it will return last the Tokyo is at the 4th index. What is the next index? 5. Whenever I will go with the backward, I will call hash previous method, hash previous return true whenever we have the previous element. Now Tokyo is at the 4th index, it will print Tokyo, and then what is the previous index from here? 3. Then it will print Seoul, what is the previous index from here? 2. Then it will print Paris. See, whatever the index it is giving, it has to be read by, it has the previous will print the same element at that index. Whatever the hash previous return, the previous will print obviously that particular object only. So this is all about the iterator and the list iterator. Because array list we have seen already, we have to only focus on the iterator and the list iterator itself here. We have next method, we have next index of, we have hash next, similarly we have hash previous, previous and next previous index. Again we have iterator where we have hash next and the next method. One thing you should be very clear, the list iterator only works for the list interface. It doesn't work for the any different collection framework. Only it is available for the list itself. So we'll get back to the set interfaces. Now, a set is an efficient data structure. We will go with the set interface now. A set is an efficient data structure for storing and processing the non-duplicate elements. So this means the set interface will never allow a duplicate element. Set does not introduce any new method or constant. The subclasses of sets are hash set, tree set and the linked hash set. For our syllabus and the purpose of example, we will go with the tree set here. It ensures that no duplicate element can be added to the set. Come to the set interface. The abstract set classes provide the implementation for equals method and hash code. The hash code of a set is the sum of all the hash codes, the sum of the hash codes of all the elements in the set. So the hash code returns the sum of all the hash codes of the elements in the set. The size and the iterators are not implemented in the abstract set class. Okay. Come to the tree set. Now, if you look into the tree set here, we have iterable at the top, then collection, then set, sorted set and navigation set. These are all the interfaces, and then we have a tree set that implements the navigable set and extends the navigation set here. The tree set implements the navigable set interface. We can add the object in the tree set as long as they are compared with each other. Means you can only add such elements that are comparable in the nature, because the tree set does not allow the duplicate elements, the first thing. And also within the help of the tree set, you will always get an ordered collection. I am repeating again, with the help of the tree set, you always get an ordered collection. Access and retrieval times are quite fast. Ordered, repeating again, it will give the ordered collection to you. Access and the retrieval times are quite fast. These are the constructors of the tree set class, collection, They are the constructors of the tree set. So we have a default constructor, tree set. It is used to construct an empty tree set that will be sorted in an ascending order according to the natural order of the tree set. Whenever you pass the default constructor of the tree set, it is just create an empty tree set that by default will be sorted in ascending order according to the natural order of the tree set. That's why we say it is an ordered collection. You can pass a collection itself. It is used to build a new tree set that contains the elements of the collection C. If you pass a collection, you can even pass the comparable object. It is used to construct an empty tree set that will be sorted according to the given comparator. We see an example also for this. And then we can even pass a sorted set. It is used to build a tree that contains the element of given sorted set. These are the methods of the tree set. Add all, it is used to add all the elements in the specified collection to the set. We then is the contains. It is used to return true if this set contains a specified element. Next is asEmpty. It is used to return true if this set contains no element. IsEmpty just will return false, will return true if there is no element in that particular tree set. Remove, you can pass an object. It is used to remove the specified element from this set if it is present. Even you can add, you use again add method, and you can pass the object. Now again, it only allows the non-duplicate element. So before adding, it will verify that particular object is present or not, and will only allow to add if this particular object that you are passing is not already present in the tree set. Then you have a clear. It is used to remove all the elements from the set. Clone. It is used to return a shallow copy of the tree set instance. First, it is used to return the first element in the sorted set, or obviously the lowest. The last, it is used to return the last element currently in the sorted set, or the highest. Size, it is used to return the number of elements in the set. We'll see with an example here. First, I will take an integer example. Okay, so I have a tree set that is generic to the integer. Okay, so I am creating a tree set object A, L. Now that is a generic to the integer, so it is meant to store the integers only. I will call this add method that will add all this particular integer values, integer objects into this tree set. Now obviously it is an ordered collection, and whatever the default constructor we have passed here, you can see I have passed the default constructor. In this case, it will be ordered into the natural order of ascending order. So whenever you will call the itr.next with the help of the iterator object itr, it means it will print the increasing order of this list. Okay. Now we'll see some of the methods that are present. The first will return the smallest number. The last will return the last number. Headset. Whenever I call this headset method, will pass 87. So all the number that is less than 87 will be printed. I'm saying again, whenever you call this headset method, all the numbers that are less than 87 will be printed, strictly less than. Now whenever you call the tell set, so starting from 23 to the last, it will print all the elements that is present in that tree set. We'll see it in example, so don't worry. Let me try with an output of this code. Oh, sorry. You can see here, you're getting an output in the ordered way, that is increasing order. Output is in the increasing order, fine. The first will return the smallest number. The last will return the last element in the list, or the highest number. Now whenever you call headset 87, you will see I'm passing headset as 87. So all the numbers in the list that is less than 87 will be printed as the part of headset. So 5, 10, 23, 24, 42, 64. 87 will not be the part, it should be strictly less than that. Now whenever you call tell set, starting from 23 to the last. Here within the tell set, whatever the object that you will specify will be the part of the output. Whenever in the headset, whatever the object that you will pass should not be the part of that particular output. So within the tell set, you are passing 23. So starting from 23 itself, all the numbers in the list will be printed. I will take an example with the string also, so the things will be more clear. Now suppose I am creating this particular thing, a tree set which is generic to the string. This is the next example where we are taking a tree set object that is generic to the string. So we have Ravi, Vijay, Ravi, Ajay and Zebra. Obviously the duplicate elements are not allowed. So the output will be sorted order as per the dictionary order. Now with the help of the iterator object itr, and with the next method of the iterator, we are just printing the list into the sorted order. Now the first will return the first element in the list, or the smallest, or the last will return the last element in the list. Headset Vijay. It will print all the string objects that is less than Vijay in the terms of dictionary order. At the same time, whenever I call telset Ravi, so starting from Ravi to the last means the Ravi will be part of the output. You can see this is output here. Okay, so the output will be Ajay, Ravi, Vijay, and Zebra. You can see the Ravi has been excluded once, or has been included only once. The duplicate has been ignored, and it is present in the dictionary order. Now first is Ajay, the smallest, and the last is the last element in the list, Zebra. Now whenever you pass headset Vijay, so anything before Vijay that is smaller in the terms of dictionary order, Ajay and Ravi will be printed. Whenever we pass Ravi, so starting from Ravi itself, Ravi, Vijay and Zebra will be printed as a part of tel set. So headset is strictly small, where Ravi tel set is like starting from that object to the last. That is the difference between headset and tel set. Headset does not include the calling object, whatever the parameter that you have passed. Where the tel set includes the object that you have passed as a parameter. So this is the example of the tree set. Now whatever we are talking about the, you can see here, yep, we are seeing something, we are seeing a constructor that is a comparator. We will see an example also for this. We will see an example of the comparable here, and then at the last we will see how we can order the collection with the help of comparable and comparator. We will see in the last part. Now here we have a class book that implements the comparable. The comparable is an interface. It has only one method, compare to. Now the compare to, if the calling object is greater than the parameter object, it will return positive. If the calling object is less than the parameter object, it will return negative. If both are equal, it will return 0. Now the comparable is again, it is a generic interface here of a type book only, because we want to process the book class object, so that's why the comparable is generic to the book. I have integer, int, we have instance variables int id and int quantity, and a string objects name, author and publisher. I am calling with the help of the constructor of the classes. Class book, we are passing these values, id to the id, the name to the name, author to the author, publisher to the publisher, and quantity to the quantity. Then I have given a body to the compare to method, our own defined. I am passing a book object b. So the calling object and an object with the object that you have passed, it will compare the IDs. See, whenever I will call this particular, internally it will keep on calling the compare to. See, we have an ID here. Okay. Now, since we are using a tree set, it means to store into a ordered collection. Okay. So, and one thing also, the compare to works only on one criteria. Fine. So we are making the criteria as an ID here. So we want to sort this data of the book into their increasing order of the IDs. So we are comparing what? If the ID is greater than the object that you have passed, p.id, it should return 1. Else if it is smaller, it should return -1. If they are equal, it should return 0. So we are just making sure the compare to method here, the criteria should be the ID here. So I'm creating with the help of the set interface reference and creating an object for the tree set where it is generic to the book class. Okay. So we have created 3 book objects, B1, B2, B3, and we passes all the required data, that is ID, name, author, publisher, ID, name, author, publisher, and we have quantity. Now, whenever I add just books to the tree set, it internally calls comparable method. Sorry, it internally calls the compare to method to sort this data, because you are aware within the tree set you will get the output as a ordered collection. Now, ordered to see, we are passing a default constructor of the class, and this means whenever you pass the default constructor, you will get a ordered, the natural order of their, you will get the natural order of the input, sorry, you will get the natural order of the collection, like which, in which order you want to sorted data. You can see here, it, it is used to construct an empty tree set that will be sorted in an ascending order according to the natural order of the tree set, that is the increasing order. So we have considered the criteria as IDs 1 to 1, 2, 3, and 101. Whenever I will call B1, B2, B3, it will internally compare with their IDs with the help of this compare to method that I have given the body, and so the criteria would be the ID itself, and whenever you will help of the for each loop, we're just printing the entire set. Okay, we're just traversing with the help of the for each loop. So we'll see an output here also. So you can see the output has been is in the sorted way of IDs 101, 121, and 233. Okay, so we'll continue in the next video the rest of the part of this particular collection. Thank you.